Welcome back to a new video. So instead of doing this as a live stream, I'm just going to do it as a normal recorded video and kind of go through different things about the program and some things that I want to talk about for the next block of training. So speaking of the next block of training, I'm not going to do the week 7 of the program, not because I don't think it's a good block or a good end of a program. It essentially is like a deload and then has a max day. But I re-spasmed my back on Saturday, so yesterday when I'm recording this, and it's just tight, and I just don't want to go through like a peak and then get to the final day and just lift 120, 150. Like I've already done it a couple times in this block. It's not really, I'm probably not going to get anything more than that at the end of that week. And at worst, I'm going to re-spasm something or, do something worse to it and not be able to train for a little bit. So I'm going to go back to just doing a normal or lighter workout. So just essentially start a new block of training. This block is going to be 11 weeks. It is a competition focus. So I'm going to do 2 competition blocks. One's 11 weeks and the other is going to be 5 weeks. So this will take me to the end of March, and then the 5-week block will take me to my competition. The reason I didn't want to do one long 16-week block is I figured it'd be good to have like a true like peak day 5 weeks out. I mean, that seems like a good time frame anyway, and then I can see where I'm at and assess that before I do the final preparations for that last 5 weeks there. But really kind of have this 11 weeks to really, try to get stronger in general and, push those numbers up. I mean, obviously back to where I was before, but hopefully even beyond that. One thing I want to do really good in this block, and you all can try to hold me accountable if I'm doing, really heavy lifts every day, is to adhere a lot closer to the weights and take jumps that would be prescribed in the program. So on a day like this, it starts at 86. So I want to actually start at 86. If it gives me a weird number like 86 kilos, I'm going to start at that. And it's snatch doubles. So I'm going to do the snatch doubles. And if I put white lights here, white lights on the second one, it won't let me do that yet. But if I put the 3 white lights on these 2 sets, then the third one will be increased. I want to be more honest about those 2 and not just put white lights to increase the weights because I want to lift heavier, but to put them if they truly feel like I'm doing everything correctly. And if not, give it the one red and stick with there. And then potentially, on a day like this, maybe on the second set, I give it a 2-to-1, 2 whites, 1 red. I might just add an additional set so I get more practice at it. But, that will be kind of up to my discretion. And that's kind of just for all of the classic lifts. For strength lifts, I don't mind being, rounding up for like 109 to 110. I don't think it's that big of a deal. And for like clean pulls from 147 to 150, I don't think it's really gonna make that much of a difference to round up for there because it's not gonna change the percentage that I'm working at. But I want to do a good job too with the pulls, in particular, but I want to stick to weights that are prescribed or at least close to it. So then I'm not, overexerting myself on the strength exercises. So I actually think that my squat and pull and really pressing is pretty sufficient for increasing the lifts in the classics from where they're at now. Obviously, the goal is always to get stronger, but if I'm, doing really heavy front squats and pulls all the time, then it's going to be a detriment to the classics. And obviously, we want to get those good as well. This is not prescribed. These were not 4 full accessory movements added. I did these yesterday, so I added them in since I'm going to start this block today. But I want to get good at pull-ups, not necessarily in doing really high reps, but I want to be able to do like 5 sets of 5, as many sets of 5 as I'm able to. On this yesterday, when I did them, I did 1 set of 5 and then 3 and 3. And I, of course, I'm going to do them really strict, so I'm not worried about, doing like CrossFit pull-ups and, I don't know, whatever the weird pull-ups are. I want to actually get stronger and not just, say I did, X amount of pull-ups. I don't really care about the number necessarily, but I think I can get plenty strong enough with my body weight and doing sets of 5. And then if I do like 5 sets of 5 really easily with the pull-ups with my body weight, then I might figure out how to add some weight some sort of way, or maybe change the exercise at that point to pull downs or something else. But back raises are also something I want to add in as well. And with accessories, with any accessory I have, I want to do the same accessories more frequently. So I want to do, pull-ups and back raises maybe 3 times a week, maybe 4, maybe all of my sessions I do some, but I want to do, them frequently. Box jumps I probably won't. I tried some yesterday. I just have such an apprehension to doing them, and it's I wish I didn't, but I'm just like, it gives me the heebie-jeebies to do them because I have like hit my shin years ago then. But I think it's a good movement, but I would probably opt to do like barbell squat jumps or something because I can actually work pretty hard at those. and get a similar stimulus to them without the apprehension to them, because that is kind of a big thing. Like if you're scared of box jumps, like in my case, or nervous about them, you're just not going to be able to push them as hard as you would need to in order to get a good benefit out of them. One thing that I might add in at some point are depth jumps, which you start from the top of the box and then land down. So I think those might be something I add in, but I don't know if that's an exercise that I can necessarily add into the app, but I think that would be a good one to add in, particularly towards the end of the block, as the app starts to kind of peak me towards the end of this 11 weeks. And then the split squats, I'm essentially considering these like lunges, but I do them kind of like a Hatfield type style, where I have my hands on the bars on the side to assist with keeping my torso in a proper position, or at least trying to bias the correct part of my legs and to make the movement itself easier too. But I want to get better at these. I think just single leg work will be good to do in general. On other days, if I have a movement, what was the other one? Oh, belt squats. I'll probably swap that to something like leg extensions, so that will still give me some direct quad work, but it's a movement that I'll be able to work harder at. Belt squats are fine, but I just don't like setting them up. And there is actually one at the gym. There's a belt squat and a hack squat and stuff like that. But when you're already squatting a lot in all the different weightlifting movements, I don't really want to do another like squatting specific movement. But something like a quad extension, I think will be good specifically for the quads, but also for the quad tendons. So I think that will be not the same benefit as doing a belt squat, but I think I'll get a similar benefit from doing a quad specific exercise. Plus, my squats aren't that bad, so I'm not worried about really hammering the belt squats or something like that. Same kind of thing with hip thrust. Like I'll just add more back extensions or back raises in there as well, and potentially might add like glute ham raises. And I don't know, I might go back and forth between glute ham raises and back raises, which if you don't know the difference, if you're doing a back raise, essentially your knees are bent, so you're using your back as a lever to move it up and down. And then with the glute ham raises, your legs are straight and you're trying to use more of your hamstrings as the lever to move your torso up and down. Sorry, I had a cough there. I left myself muted for a second so you didn't have to listen to me cough, but I had hair or something in my throat. But what was the other thing? So I'm going to stick to the weights pretty conservatively to what's on there. And then if I feel good or if I want more practice, to add more weights that are similar to that, but just to be more conservative with the classics, particularly at the beginning of it. And I'm not adding in a big Friday initially. That might be something I change towards the end, maybe in the last couple weeks, while I might add like a big Friday type workout, because I think that's good for peaking purposes. And it will give me more opportunities to push for PRs. But that for the first probably 8, I'm not going to worry about that because it's not really necessary, and it's probably going to be at a detriment to training overall. For clean pulls, I don't want to go above what I'm going to be doing for cleans that much more. I'm going to stick to close to percentage of it there. I kind of mentioned that before. I mentioned accessories. As you see, the weights are pretty light this week. I have a weird deficit power clean, so that will be an interesting movement. But yeah, like I just want to be more conservative in this block, try to really focus on the weights that are prescribed and trying to do them as perfect as possible, and be really honest about the white lights as I'm giving them, and make sure that I'm actually getting the full benefit of the, I guess, like their perceived exertion system for the classics. And same thing with squats. Like the reps in reserve are kind of hard to do at different times, because like I'll do a set of 4 in this tempo squat, and I'll probably never feel like I can do a set of 5. But there could be something where I just am more conservative with those, so then it becomes a more calibrated number for myself, and I'm also not going too crazy with squatting when it's not a terrible weakness of mine. But hopefully my reasoning for starting a new block made sense. There's not going to be a video of that last workout because it's pretty short. I snatched up to 120, then I missed 125 3 times in front, and then I worked up to 140, and then the clean, I just did the clean with 140 and then dropped it, and just the accessories after, but didn't record the accessories. I probably won't record the accessories, but I'll try to do a good job of talking about them, particularly with the pull-ups. I think that would just be a good general exercise for me to do and to improve at, and hopefully get to where I'm doing 5 sets of 5 and then able to add some load and really kind of just use that as a main builder of my upper body. So I think that's just a good movement for me to do, and being larger, I do have that advantage. I have a lot more body weight to move around, so I won't have to load it for a while, I'm sure. But that's going to be it for this video. If you got to the end, I appreciate it. And yeah, that's it for this one. So I'll talk to you on the next one. Peace.